let me start this video by saying something that might sound a bit uncomfortable, but it needs to be said. Right now on YouTube, there are thousands of videos about starting an online business using AI. AI side hustles, AI automation, AI passive income, AI agencies, AI everything. And yet, if you actually sit down and watch most of those videos carefully, you will notice something interesting. Very few people actually show you how they themselves are making money using AI tools. I have personally built and scaled one-person AI business to around $1,000 a day. I built the workflows myself, I tested them, I refined them, and I still use them. Not hypothetically, not in theory, not something they might try someday. I mean real systems that is already running, and that is what this video is about. Because I am not guessing how to build a one-person AI business, I am not repeating something I have heard from someone else, and also I am not selling you a dream without proof. And in this video, I am going to break down exactly what those tools are, how those workflows actually work, and the 5-step process I use so that you can copy the process and build your own version of this kind of business. Now, one thing I know from my channel analytics is the most of the people watching this video are new. Many of you have not seen my previous case studies where I explained this business in details. So before we go any further, I want to quickly explain what my AI business actually is, how it works, and why it makes sense. Then we will break the entire thing down step by step. Now, what my AI business is. My AI business is very simple. I run an AI-powered print-on-demand clothing store on Etsy. There is no warehouse, there is no inventory sitting in my house, there is no packing or shipping that I do myself, and here is how it actually works. I created clothing designs using AI tools, and I upload those designs into products using print-on-demand services like Printify. Now, these platforms work with professional print shops around the world, and once someone buys one of the products on Etsy, the order is automatically sent to the print-on-demand provider. They print the design onto the item, package it, and ship it directly to the customer. So basically, I never touch the product. And I got my first sales within first 2 weeks. The difference between what customer pays and what the print-on-demand provider charges is my profit. Now, once a product is listed, it can sell again and again without any extra work from me. But here is the important part. The reason this worked was not because of AI. It actually worked because I solved a real problem. One day I was scrolling through Etsy, and just like a normal customer, I noticed something interesting. There were thousands of generic clothing designs about animals, funny dog shirts, cat jokes, general pet humor. But when I started searching for something dog breeds, things changed. But there were very few clever breed-specific designs. For example, you could find a lot of funny dog shirts, but almost none that were actually about huskies, or border collies, or golden retrievers in a meaningful way. So instead of competing in a crowded market with generic designs, I focused on very specific niches. And that is dog owners who absolutely love their specific breed. And that was the gap. Now, to fill that gap, I used 3 main tools. ChatGPT to help me come up with slogans and ideas, and AI Imaginator to create artwork, and Canva to combine everything into finished designs. After that, I uploaded those designs to Printify and then listed them on Etsy. Now I optimized the listing using AI. By doing this, I got my first sales and first $200 revenue earned, which happened in just few weeks. And today, those same listings continue to generate $500 to $1,000 per week in passive income. Now, let us move on to the actual system behind this business. So our step 1 is to find a real problem worth solving. This is the most important step, and this is the one most people skip. Most people start with the wrong question. They ask, what business I can copy? What is trending right now? What is making other people money? And that approach almost always fails. So let me explain why. If you copy someone else's business idea exactly, you are immediately at a disadvantage. Because just imagine this scenario. A customer is browsing online, they see 2 similar products. One store has 50,000 in sales and 100 of reviews, and the other store is brand new and has none. So what do you think they trust? Almost always they choose the established seller, right? This is why copying is a trap. When you are new, nobody trusts you yet. So you need to give people a reason to take a chance on you. The easiest way to do that is by being the first, or one of the first to solve a specific problem. In marketing, this is called identifying a gap in the market. A gap is simply something people want but cannot actually find, or something that exists but it is poorly done. The way I personally find gaps is very simple. I ask myself one question. What do I want that does not exist yet, or does not exist in a good enough way? And that is it. In my case, I wanted funny, well-designed clothing for specific dog breeds. I could not find it. So I actually made it. But I know that coming up with the ideas like this is harder than it sounds. This is where AI can help. If you see it correctly, here is the key. You don't want AI to give you basic business ideas. You want AI to help you extract ideas from your own experience. Instead of asking ChatGPT to generate ideas, ask it yourself. For example, you can say something like, ask me a series of questions that will help uncover problems I have personally experienced that don't have good solutions. Now, many of these books sell for $100 to $20, meaning even a small audience can generate hundreds of dollars per month passively. Or even ask me questions to identify products or content that people I know complain but they still buy. Now, ChatGPT is extremely good at guiding these kind of things. It helps you reflect, organize your thoughts, and spot patterns you might miss. Now, you can also apply these to different areas. For example, a problem beginners faces, problem parents face, or even different problems hobbyists face. You can even optimize that for problems of the professionals. And remember, the solution does not have to be a physical product. It can be a content, it can be education, it can be tools, or even it can be entertainment. For example, years ago, people told me that Shopify tutorials on YouTube were boring and even they are hard to follow. So I made a tutorial that solved a specific problem. That single decision helped grow this channel significantly. And that is same principle and different format. And once you have identified a problem you are genuinely interested in solving, you move on to the step 2. Now, step 2 is to create a custom AI workflow. And this is where AI becomes powerful in real businesses. An AI workflow is simply a sequence of tools working together to achieve a goal. Because AI on its own is not a business. In my case, my workflow looked like this. As I told you earlier, first I used ChatGPT to generate slogans and ideas. Second, I used AI image generator to create artwork. Third, I used Canva to combine text and images into finished design. Fourth, I uploaded those designs to a print-on-demand platform. And that was my workflow. Because your workflow will depend entirely on the problem you are solving. Let me give you another example. During a brainstorming process, ChatGPT helped surface an interesting idea. A children's book designed to introduce kids to the concept of artificial intelligence. And it is similar to how other books introduce children to money and emotions. This kind of book already exists in other niches, and many of them are self-published by individual creators and also sold on Amazon KDP. So if that was your business idea, your workflow might look like this. One tool to outline the story, one tool to write the text, one tool to generate illustrations, and one tool to handle layout and formatting. And after that, one platform to publish and sell the book. Now, creating one design manually would take 3 to 4 hours using AI. Because by using AI, I can generate and refine and finalize a design in 20 to 30 minutes. And this is a 90% time saving and allows me to launch multiple products in a single day. Now, here is the important tip. While ChatGPT is a great at designing workflow, you should not blindly test its recommendation for specific tools. Because AI tools can change very quickly. And also, when new tools appear, old tools also improve and pricing changes. So instead of relying only on ChatGPT, I used an AI-powered search engine called Perplexity. Because this tool searches across the internet, including forums, Reddit, and YouTube recommendations to find up-to-date opinions on which tools are people using right now. So after defining the workflow, I use this tool to research the best tools for each step. For example, I might search for best AI tools for book layout or illustration. And by doing this, the results are often far more detailed and current than what ChatGPT provides, because you can also add constraints. Now, if you are on a low budget, you can tell this AI tool to only suggest tools with free tiers or free trials. This often produces very different results and sometimes leads you to the tools you would not have found somewhere else. Now, the goal is to test few options, pick what works best for you, and lock in your workflow. Now, once you have a workflow that reliably produces value, you are ready for the step 3. Now, step 3 is to get free traffic using existing platforms. And this is one of the biggest advantages small creators have today. Because I am not a big fan of paid advertising when starting a new business. It is expensive, risky, and often unnecessary. Instead, I prefer to piggyback on platforms that already have massive audiences. In my case, that platform was Etsy. Now, Etsy has over 90 million active buyers each month. With optimized listing, even a new store can reach hundreds of potential buyers daily without spending a cent. Now, actually, I got my first 10 sales from less than 200 visitors in 2 weeks. Now, depending on your business, your platform might be different. If you create short videos, TikTok or YouTube Shorts make sense. If you sell books, Amazon KDP is an obvious choice. And if you run a blog, Pinterest can be powerful. Now, here is the important thing to understand. All of these platforms are driven by AI algorithm. And those algorithms decide when content and products get shown and which ones get ignored. That means you can optimize for them. For Etsy, I built a specific optimization workflow. First, I used Perplexity to search top-selling listing in my niche and identify common keywords and patterns. Then I downloaded that data and fed that into ChatGPT. Now after that, I asked ChatGPT to create optimized titles, descriptions, and tags based on what algorithm seems to favor. Then I used Claude as a final editor. Now ChatGPT is excellent at structure and optimization. Claude is excellent at making text sound natural and human. That combination worked extremely well. This workflow helped me to get my first sales quickly, even as a new seller. Now, if you are using different platforms, the same principle applies. Ask ChatGPT to design an optimization workflow for that platform. Then use Perplexity to research the best current tools and practices. Once your content and products are optimized, the platform algorithm does a lot of the marketing for you. Now, our step 4 is to create your own brand using AI. Because branding matters more than people think, even for simple online businesses. The good news is AI makes branding faster and cheaper than ever. The core tool I use for branding is Canva. Now Canva is AI-powered design platform with templates for almost every major platform: Etsy, YouTube, Instagram, Amazon, and more. Because they offer a free trial that includes all professional features. For my store, I use Canva to create my banner, logo, and product visuals. I started with a template that fit my niche and customized it. Now to come up with a brand name and tagline, I use ChatGPT. Because this is a flexible part of the workflow, any good language model can do that as well. Once I had the name and tagline, I finished the designs in Canva. First, I created my banner, logo, and product visuals entirely in Canva in under 4 hours. Because hiring a designer would cost you $500 or even more. And if you want custom icons and illustrations, AI image generators are perfect for that. I personally use Midjourney, but it is paid. Now, if you want a free option, Leonardo AI offers daily credits and works very well. Now, for editing images, you have options. You can upload images into ChatGPT and ask for adjustments. Or you can manually edit them in Canva using tools like background removal or color adjustment. Because the goal is not perfection, the goal is consistency. Now once your branding is done, your business starts to feel real. Now we move to the final step, and that is scale and optimize using AI. Now most people think AI is the best to use automate boring tasks, but I disagree. For me, AI is the most powerful when it helps you think better. Because once my store had enough data, I started using AI like a chief financial officer. And let me show you exactly how to do that. The first step is taking your sales and analytics data and turning that into something you actually understand. Now I use AI tool called Zebra AI for this. Zebra AI takes numbers and spreadsheets and transforms them into clear and visual graphics. It is incredible for spotting trends quickly. Now after that, I can immediately see what products are selling well, which ones are underperforming, and where there might be opportunities I am missing. It also highlights weaknesses I can address, like pricing issues or underperforming categories. Before Zebra, I would have spent hours just trying to understand the data manually. Now I can see everything at a glance. Once I have the graphs, I feed that data into ChatGPT. But not just the regular ChatGPT, I use the advanced reasoning mode. I asked it to generate detailed reports similar to what a CFO would produce. And here is the key, I do not just feed it raw data. I also include my own observations, specific questions I have about the numbers. Because the model takes its time to analyzing everything. The insights are deeper, more detailed, and more actionable than you might get from a standard report. And this report covers everything from sales performances to customer trends, seasonal opportunities, and even recommendations on improving profitability. Once the report is ready, I take it into one step further. I uploaded it into Google Notebook AI tool. And this is where magic really happens. Because Notebook AI can convert complex reports into mind maps, summaries, and even audio explanations. And I also listen to these audio overviews while doing my work, cooking, or just moving around the house. Because it feels like having a personal business mentor walking me through my numbers in plain, easy to understand language. The audio explains what each graph means, why certain products are performing better than others, and how I can adjust my strategy. And even I can pause and replay sections if I want to think more deeply about a particular recommendation. Because this workflow lets me see opportunities that are not obvious from raw data alone. And also it allows me to plan seasonal launches ahead of time. For example, adjusting inventory, tweak product listing, and optimize my marketing strategies. And it also makes it possible to continuously improve profitability. Now instead of guessing and relying on a single tool, I have data-driven insights guiding me every decision. Now scaling one-person business becomes achievable because AI handles the heavy analysis, leaving me free to make creative and free decisions. Now after analyzing my sales with AI, I identified 3 underperforming products and optimized them. And also doing this increased my revenue by 35% in a single month. Optimizing titles and tags brought in 200 visitors extra per week, resulting in 15 more sales. And after that, I can test new ideas faster and with more efficiency and stay ahead of trends. Now, in short, this approach turns AI into a thinking partner, not just a tool for automation. It transforms how I manage the store, gives me a real competitive advantage. Using AI like this has completely changed the way I scale and optimize my business. And the best part is, any one person business can do this if you know the workflow. Alright, let's get straight into it. AI is not a magic button. You cannot just log in, press a few keys, and expect thousands of dollars to appear in your account overnight. Because anyone telling you otherwise is a complete lie and not showing the full picture. And also, AI by itself does not make any decisions. It does not know your market, does not know what your customer needs. It is not a replacement of creativity, strategy, and smart execution. But here is the key. AI can amplify what you already bring to the table. If you have ideas, skills, and the ability to spot gaps in the market, AI can make all that faster, smoother, and more efficient. It can handle repetitive tasks, it can organize your thoughts, it can create content, visuals, and even analyze data. But it only works if you use it intelligently. And that is the difference between wasting time and building a business. Let me give you an example from my own experience. When I started my Etsy store with AI-generated designs, the AI did not create the business, I did it. Now AI just speed up the parts that would have taken hours or days manually. And the difference is that AI allows you to identify what works and what does not quickly. Now you can adjust, test, and improve faster than you can do it manually, because this process is very critical. And here is the reality. My one-person Etsy store generated $200 in 2 weeks. Now it brings $500 to $1,000 every week passively. And the total revenue so far exceeds $45,000. Each design takes less than 30 minutes with AI, saving hours compared to manual work. And the profit margins on most items are over 60%. Now to do that, you don't need a big team, you don't need a warehouse, you just need 3 things. Find a problem people actually want solved, build a workflow that produces results, use platforms that already have millions of buyers waiting. AI does not replace your decisions, it amplifies them. Now what you can do is just start small, test one product and one service, use AI to optimize it, and then scale gradually. After that, refine every step with the data. And now with AI, even one person can compete with big teams because AI multiplies your impact. That system is proven. The numbers are real, and if you take action today, it can be real for you. Thank you for watching this video. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe my channel, and I will be back soon with more useful content. Bye bye.